Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to meet you once more. And on this live, we talk about a very amazing and very interesting topic, which is the medicinal plants and herbs. And we should first make the difference between some food plants, some medicinal plants which are included with the diet in food, and some other plants which cannot be used only for curing or for healing some diseases. That people now are in a big confusion about these plants and these herbs, and there are many people now are getting effort. They are scared by these plants that because they have heard, I think, some negative talking about these plants and these herbs. Anyway, that's first I should make a big definition about these herbs and medicinal plants. That you know that our diet, when our God Subhanah Wa Taala has created us, has created everything for us. And our body is living with only three components in food, which we call them the macronutrients, which are proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates. Only three, and these three components cannot give the energy. We cannot extract the energy from these three components without vitamins and minerals. So we call them the micronutrients. So macronutrients are proteins, lipids, or fat and carbohydrates, three, and also vitamins and minerals. That's because the vitamins cannot work in the body without the minerals. They are activated by the cofactors, and cofactors are the minerals. The enzymes cannot work without the minerals. So we have five now, three components and vitamins, minerals, just for we can extract the energy from these components. And then the fibers, so even digestible or soluble fibers, which can nourish the probiotic, so the friendly bacteria, and also some indigestible or non-soluble fibers, which might clean the body, which might throw out all the solid waste from the body. As you know that when our body digests the carbohydrates, the lipids, and the proteins, there is some waste, and there is the remaining waste which cannot be absorbed by our body, are driven out, are thrown out, and using the mechanical support, the mechanical matrix, which are non-soluble fibers. And you know that we need some other compounds, for the body cannot live with the energy. It's not an engine, it's not a car, our body cannot live only by these components. There are some other components which are God Subhanah Wa Taala has created also in food, and they should be included with our diet. And these compounds are the medicinal part. There is a medicinal part in our food, for we cannot get some diseases. And some other kind of foods now we consume, that we don't eat some plants for proteins or carbohydrates or lipids, but we consume them or we eat them only for these medicinal compounds. And these, we have cereals, these grains, we have pulses or legumes, we have some vegetables and green leaves, fruits and seeds like flax seeds, black cumin, fenugreek, grass seeds, and sesame, and flax seeds, and so on. This is a big group, and also the group of spices. Spices are used only for the taste and not for the taste, and also for the flavor, for flavoring our dishes, our meals. And there are another group of which should be included with our food, it's a part of our diet, which are plants and herbs. And these plants and herbs, that we consume them only for these medicinal compounds, which are mostly the antioxidants, some other compounds, chemical compounds, that our body need them, like phytosterols and phytoestrogens, which are also included in food. And for this reason, that these seeds are classified with the medicinal plants. So there are two kinds of medicinal plants. Plants that can be included with our diet, that we can eat them every day, and usually these plants are part of our diet. These plants, like green tea, like some sage, like oregano, like thyme, like saffron, ginger, galonga, and so drinks, and like also the spices. Spices also are medicinal plants, like ginger, galangal, like cloves, cinnamon, turmeric, so pepper, and many other like cobab, like all the spices are classified as medicinal plants. Also, they are classified by the medicinal plants. Some seeds, also the seeds, flax seeds, fenugreek, grass seeds, black cumin, sesame, and are also classified with the medicinal compounds, with the medicinal plants, because they are source of phytosterol and phytoestrogens, and we don't consume them for energy, from proteins or lipids. Or some people, when they talk about moringa, or they talk about oregano, or when they talk about propolis, and so they talk about they are rich in minerals and some vitamins. That it's not, we don't eat these plants for minerals and for vitamins. We eat them only for the antioxidants, only for the medicinal compounds. And the people that should know this, there are some plants which are medicinal and we can eat them every day, and they should be included with the diet. That herbs that we can drink as tea, and also spices and seeds. And your diet should be composed of the 7 or the 8 groups, including olive oil, also olive oil, and some strong foods like almond and also nuts, like dates, and some other materials like these seeds also are very important and very strong as components for healthy food. We cannot have healthy food without these things. That people now are living only on meat, bread, and some fried food and so on. The body may lack a lot of other chemical compounds, that some components that you should meet the need of your body by this thing. That's for the that we get, so we get sick after 5, 10, 20 years. And when the lack is for 1 year, when the lack might take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that sure you will get sick. Sure you will contract a disease. So a condition anyway. And so these plants and these herbs, they are very important for the body, and they are also counted and they're classified and also considered as medicinal plants. Seeds like flax seeds, black cumin, fenugreek, cress, like also fennel and so caraway, coriander seeds, and even sunflower seeds, and are considered also as medicinal plants. And you should eat at least 1, 2, or 3 of them, because they are different, but they are all source of phytosterol and phytoestrogens, which are very important for the hypertension, the blood circulation, and the cardiovascular, blood and heart vessels. And also they are important for your bowel, because they are rich in some polysaccharides, which may nourish your friendly bacteria, and also may contain some other molecules like omega-3 or so. Anyway, and the spices, all the spices, turmeric, cloves, cinnamon, ginger, galangal, and so they are considered as medicinal, also medicinal plants. And you have to pay attention to these things, and they should be included in your diet and in your food. So now the modern diet, you know that the modern, typical modern meal now is meat every day or 2 times a day, or dairy products, and also white bread fermented by the baker's yeast, and also some fried foods like French fries or something. This is a typically bad diet, and all the disease now, there are a lot of them, and people now are contracting some conditions and some diseases only because of the diet. There is no diseases without cause or cause. It doesn't exist. There is no disease or sickness. There is no condition without a cause or many causes in sometimes. And that you should think of this, and you should pay attention to these things, that when you get sick or when you contract any disease or any condition, that the first thing that to start with is to change the lifestyle first, to a clean, healthy food, and then that you can go to see your healthcare provider. And some plants, some other medicinal plants which cannot be consumed every day, which cannot be used, they are not edible, they are used only when for healing or for treating some diseases or conditions. Some other plants which are toxic and they cannot be usually used. But you should distinguish between the plants you can eat every day, they are considered as food, they should be included in your diet, and the plants which called medicinal plants also, but for medical purposes only. They should be used widely for the treatment or for the curing. Sorry, somebody is calling. So, and this the second group that is planned for the medical purposes only, and people should pay attention because they are hazardous. And all the alkaloids and molecules they contain, so they are toxic. And they should be used by a exact concentration, with a known concentration, so moderately and not for a long time. It should be a short time and only in a precision. It should be precision and with accurately, should be accurately, a concentration should be defined, and it should be minimal. It would depend on the disease that should be cancer or asthma or cardiovascular or bowel irritating or autoimmune disease and so on. So a lot of these plants we will start. The friends from United States and also from some Scandinavian countries asked me also to talk about these plants in English, and so yeah, sure. You will get also some shows, some videos in English on these plants, that because I started in Arabic, and so talking about only the plants which are considered as food, so the medicinal plants classified by foods, and I call them medicinal plants. So, and they are safe, they are not dangerous, so you can use them, you can consume them as drink or with food. So it should be added to food, why not? And there is a long list, and we will start with them. Some plants to be drank, and also spices and seeds, and we will talk about them so in the coming, inshallah, in some videos. We are now recording some videos in English also about these things, that because I started talking about them in Arabic, and people should know how to use these things. That's if you can have a complete diet, everything, so including seeds and spices and also medicinal plants, which can use every day. Green tea is a medicinal plant, and so if you can have a complete diet, including these medicinal plants, sure you will not have any problem, any health problem. You will not have any trouble, any health troubles. So conditions, you will not at least contract some non-curable or hard to treat diseases, what we call them terminal diseases. And so these plants that people normally when they get sick. So they don't think about these things. Only when they get sick, and then they go back and ask about these plants and medicinal plants, if I can have a natural curing procedures. Yes, it might exist, sure it exists, but not when, not after finishing the chemical and the modern medicine treatments. That because some people, in cancer, example of cancer, some people now don't, when they diagnose a cancer, and when the doctor tell them that they have a cancer, a tumor, so they go to chemotherapy, to surgery, to surgical intervention, and some radiotherapy, hormonotherapy, chemotherapy, and so lab determination, lab analysis, and so checking, and so imagery, and so they lost much time, and sometimes after 1 month or 3 months, the diagnostic is not in 3 days. And during this period that people don't change anything, and unfortunately they have a cancer, so they are told, so they are informed about the cancer by the doctor, but they still continue to eat everything, and they still continue to not have a complete diet, and so they are all time ignoring. These people are ignoring the seeds, and they are ignoring the spices, ignoring the medicinal plants, but they are not using only meat, dairy products, bread, and some legumes or some fruits. But when you are told about any condition, even cancer, autoimmune, or diabetes, hypertension, anything, or bowel problems, that first thing to do is to change your lifestyle. things that you should do yourself first, and then go and see your doctor. But people now, they lose time, they go to the hospital or to the clinic, surgical intervention, chemotherapy after 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. And so, you know, that the immunity is destroyed. So the immunity sometimes is destroyed after 6 sessions of chemotherapy. Now immunity that you cannot continue. You cannot go back. And you are still between, but you are not, so your cancer is still there. And now some people think about why not to try the natural procedure healing. Now, the natural procedure healing, yes, but first, not after finishing that the modern medicine or the conventional treatments. But you should start first back, because that it doesn't disturb any treatment, these things. That's because your complete food and these things are included with in your diet. And they may not interfere with any treatments, even chemotherapy, radiotherapy, or hormone therapy, or antibiotic therapy, or corticotherapy, or any treatment. They are not interfere with the treatment. They are not disturb the treatment. And what you are not, at least the thing that you can do, you should do. Not you can do, that you should do. You are obliged to do it, that because you are sick and you are contracting a disease. It's like cancer. It's not easy to treat. It's not easy to deal with. But at least things that you can do and you should do, that you start with. So the first thing to do is that to change the lifestyle, to have healthy food and also strong and complete diet, and by preparing your meals yourself, and you have to stop eating all the foods, canned food, processed foods, and stuff, because they are source of some food additives, and they are packed in aluminum or plastic materials. And they should cook your food yourself, and your diet should be complete as possible. What does it mean, complete? Cereals, there is a list of cereals: barley, wheat, and rice, quinoa, millet, and corn, and so a lot of them. And also legumes or beans, like fava beans, chickpeas, lentils, soya, beans, and peas, and so there are a lot of them. And also veggies, all vegetables, and also green leaves, and also seeds. Do not ignore the seeds: flax seeds, black cumin, fenugreek seeds, and coriander seeds, and fennel, and anisum, and so. And also spices. You should include some spices because they are healthy materials. They are superfood, turmeric, and so include your spices in your food. And also olive oil. Olive oil is a very strong component of the diet. And also some herbs to drink. Why not to use some food supplements like propolis, royal jelly, or omega-3, or probiotic, and so on. A lot of them can exist now in the market. And this you have to change and to set a plan for and you have to schedule these things also. You have to set a plan for your life, and then start with these things, that because at least you will have a high immunity, and then the treatment can give good results. That chemotherapy is not so efficient now in many cases. It's not efficient, but it should be efficient when your immunity is high. And there is no high immunity when you eat junk food, fast food, and fried food, and so on. And these medicinal plants, this group of medicinal plants should be included. They should not be ignored. Should be included in the diet, and you should think of them. That a lot of people in the Occident, in European countries, and all in the American countries, are ignoring these things, these materials. They are ignoring these materials. That people in Europe don't know what fenugreek or cress seeds or black cumin. They don't know these things. And there are a lot of other herbs and plants. I will talk about them, and also how to use them, not in the same time, not in much, use it in a high amount, but in small amounts, and you should have a plan for them, that you cannot use 10 medicinal plants per day. You cannot. But you have every day 2 or 3, and then you should organize yourself for you need 60 days, 2 months, or 3 months. During the treatment, or before the treatment, or after the treatment, that you should keep yourself on this. A lot of people now, when they finish the chemotherapy and the doctor tells them that the tumor has gone, you have no problem. So they go back to the bad lifestyle. They go back to French fries and so. hamburger and soft drinks and beer, and so some people, and the junk food, fried food, canned food, and so. That it's a mistake. It's a big mistake. That's because that the cancer is still there. Your cancer is still there, even if your doctor tells you that the tumor has gone, but there are some other carcinogenic cells in your body, because at the stage cell that the doctor cannot see it, but your cancer is still there, and you have to pay attention. You can live, stay safe, no problem, but at least that you have to change this, and you have to understand your condition and your disease, for you can live without any without any scare. That's because a lot of people now, after 2-3 years, when they go back to the checking, that they get other tumors in the body. That's because they have back to the bad food, and to the junk food, and to the fried food, and so. If you can change your lifestyle to a clean and healthy food, that's okay. Okay, sorry, another call and the show. And in this episode, I try just to make a definition, that to precise, and also to make it clear for people what medicinal plants means. Also, some medicinal plants normally should be included in the diet. They are strong medicinal plants also. You should not ignore them, and you should not neglect them. And also, when we finish with these plants which are safe, it's a very important point that they are safe, they are not hazardous, and you can eat them every day, and you can use them with the diet. And then we will start the other group, which are for the medical purposes, some plants which cannot be used. Cannot be consumed as food, but they should be used only for some medical purposes, for curing or healing some diseases. So, hope that you got some idea from this live. Inshallah, see you in another live. Salam.